What's up everybody, it's Ski from Wild Dirty Outdoors and welcome to our first DIY video. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a tip up for just about $2. So how it works, so I use a rubber band to hold my hook up and then thumbtack will hold that down. So now there's release tension, grab your flag, you're going to set your depth, take your flag, go under your reel, like so. Fish will pull on it, and fish on. Alright y'all, first things materials. You're going to need some wood, some PVC, and some sheet steel. Also, whatever you're going to use for your flag. You can either use a coat hanger, or a preferred method would be the inside of a wiper blade, windshield wiper blade. Inside, if you break it apart, it's got this really nice thin piece of metal. It's super springy, and that will work way better than a coat hanger, but I mean, coat hanger works just fine. So for your wood, I used 3/4 inch by 2.5 inch. It's either siding or trim wood, something like that. It's at Ace for like 8-foot piece is like $2.99. You can use sheet metal. This comes in 6 or 8 by 24, and I think it's either a 16th or a little smaller. Get just heavy enough to bend with your hands, or small tools without heating, and then just heavy enough to hold back any kind of fish you're going to get wherever you're fishing. You need some PVC. 3/4 inch works. You can buy it by the 2-foot. It's 90 cents for a 2-foot piece of 3/4 inch white PVC pipe at Ace, and that's pretty much it for materials. Then we'll move to adhesive and fasteners. Get yourself some good glue. I actually tried the super glue, but that didn't work for me, and then I just happened to have this laying around the house, and I tried it out, and hey, it worked pretty well. So I mean, if you got it, use it. Otherwise you can use probably any multi-purpose epoxy, would probably be better, but that's just what I used. Get yourself some sandpaper so you can knock off any burrs in your metal. Sharpie, obviously. Get yourself carriage bolts. These carriage bolts are 3 inch by 1/4, and then get yourself some nuts to fit those. You're going to want some sheet metal screws like this. It's I think I got like 1-inch ones. Anyways, I didn't use self-tappers because this metal's pretty thick. I just tapped it with a drill bit and try to kind of match your size. I don't remember exactly what size this is, but kind of try and match it so you get the tip in and you'll still get your threads to grab hold of the metal. Another drill bit is a 1/4 inch, or you can go about one size bigger. I used a 1/4 because I didn't want my reel to get real sloppy, so I just got the same exact size as the bolt I was using. I'd recommend that because it worked pretty well for me. And then as far as tools are considered, one of the most important things is a drill. Get yourself a decent drill. Get yourself some side cutters or wire cutters. You can use these to cut your hanger, or you can just use these, because I actually just found these. But I use these. They're just normal cheap pliers. They're just house pliers with the wire cutter in the center, so that worked just fine. Get yourself a cheap saw. Got the saw at Walmart for like under I think it was under $6, like $4.99, maybe $5. Hammer. Any hammer will do. Use it for center punching. Make yourself easier to drill. Little clamp, C-clamp, anything will work, but just something to hold your glued pieces together. And then some decent heavy-duty tin snips. Promise you would be happy to get heavy-duty ones, because this stuff's a little hard to cut, and you'll kill your hands if you don't have good ones. Speaking of kill your hands, get a glove, sheet metal sharp, wear glasses for burrs and stuff. Don't hurt yourself doing this. And y'all, that's pretty much it. We'll get right into it. Alright, so step one is to make your base, and you're going to want to get, I guess you can use pretty much any kind of wood about this size. This is 2.5 by about 3/4 inch of, I think it's like siding wood or something like that. It was like $2.99 or $2.49 at Ace, so it's pretty cheap, and you can make, I think about five tip-ups per. So you want to measure yourself out a 16-inch piece and cut that for your base. Alright y'all, now that you got your base cut, you need two things you want to start your reel. For your reel, all you need is a piece of 3/4 inch PVC. You can buy it by the 2 foot. It was 90 cents at Ace. And then this is a little more pricey, but it's not too bad. It's a piece of sheet steel. Sorry, it's a little mangled up. I already made a couple tip ups out of it. But you're going to make the sides of your reel with this. So, I'm going to teach you kind of the, I don't know how you say, hillbilly way to make this super simple. What you do is you go down here, you just place your dip can on it, you just make yourself a perfect little circle around there with a Sharpie. Make 2 of them, and you cut that out. Then what you want to do is cut off about a 3/4 of an inch piece off of this to make yourself a reel. Alright, now that we got this cut, the next step is making the sides of your reel. So you take, let's say your dip can, but your circle, you can use some line, pretty much the same size. Either one will work. I just always got this on me, so set that there, set a Sharpie, and you just trace this, just like so. Give yourself some nice lines to cut around. Do that twice, and then cut these out and try and keep pretty nice circles. You don't want these to look all rinky-dinky. Alright guys, once you got these things cut out, your circles, the sides of your reel, you want to take your sand block, you want to knock these edges off so you don't cut your hands all up. But now you're ready to start assembling your reel. So what I do, super scientific, is use the tried and true method of eyeballing it. Try and drop yourself a dot pretty close to the center, because that's where you're going to put your first hole. And there's 2 ways of doing this, but I'm going to show you the way that I think works best. I mean, it does not have to at all means be in the dead center, but I mean, at least try and get it close. Yeah, somewhere right there. So then, you take your hole punch or a drywall screw. There you go. Got your 2 holes pretty close together. They line up alright. But we're not being real scientific here. Alright, so your next process is you're going to take the center of your reel and you're going to kind of try and center it. And you're going to take your Sharpie again and go around this and give yourself an outside edge of where this is going to go to center it on your hole. That way you keep your reel, for the most part, pretty centered. Obviously, if you got like a scribe or a, I don't remember what to call them exactly, but you know what I mean. One of them circle dealies to find a center and all that. Yeah, I don't have one, so this will just have to do. Alright, once you got your outside lines marked, then you kind of know where to put your glue. You're going to put glue all the way around both of these, and then you're going to take your bolt, you're going to go through, and you're going to clamp this down all together like that with glue on it, and then it's going to sit there for, depending on what kind of glue or epoxy you're using. My glue requires a 24-hour sit process, but of course you can get different stuff than that that will dry a little quicker for you. That's essentially how you do the one way. The second way is not drilling your holes first, which I found out is not quite a good process, but then you take that clamp you got and you just clamp them together. Adjust them so it's mostly centered, and then that's how you do it. But I recommend taking your carriage bolt, getting these pretty well centered, and then cinching it right down. That way you know no one's going to bump it, no one's going to move it, and it's all going to be pretty dead centered. So I'll get this glued together, and then I'll get back to y'all when it all dries up. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, after you do your other holes, you're going to want to center punch one up on one of your corners, whatever side you prefer to reel with. You want to drill your hole for your handle. Don't forget to do that before you glue it together, because drilling these 2 pieces, unless you got some kind of block that fits in here perfectly, you'll end up busting your reel off before you even get the hole through. So remember to do that first before gluing it. Side note, forgot to put it in there. Alright y'all, while that's drying, you can take your coat hanger and you can you cut it in half. You make yourself 2 flags out of it. Just get it kind of bent, mostly straight. You'll do your fine tuning when we get it mounted and you get the reel up there and you see exactly how long you need. But don't do any fine tuning now because you might end up wasting, half a coat hanger. Second part is you need to cut 2 pieces out of your sheet steel. One piece is going to be 1.5 inches by 3. The other piece is going to be 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. Your 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches doesn't need to be real accurate because that's just your mounting piece for your flag. Your 1.25 to inch piece by 3 is going to be more precise, and you're going to want to have it straighter and try not to mangle it up too much because that's what's going to support your reel. And you're going to want to get your bends right, and I'll show you how I do it. I'll get this all cut out, bent up, and then I'll pick you up from there. Alrighty y'all, my camera decided not to record, but anyways, this is what we got. Your 3-inch piece, you're going to bend just like that, so it sits nicely and centered on, so your reel would be in the center. I used about a 1/4 to 3/8 inch bend here, and just a little bit less than a 1/2 inch right here. And that works about perfectly. And make sure that, this is still just a little wet, make sure that when you're mounting your reel, essentially, it's not going to go this way, but it'll be a little bit off your tip up. Of course you don't want this digging into your tip up, it won't work. So make sure you have enough. You should have about 2, I would say 2.25 inches, maybe just 2 inches. No, probably about 2.25. I'd say you probably got 2.25 inches right here of height between the top of this and the bottom where it rests on your tip up. So make sure you got that right. And this, not super scientific, you drill 3 holes, and you start by putting this back one in so you can hold your flag down, and then 2 in the corners. So what you do with this is you take your flag and you cut off the swirly end, where it connects to the rest of the hanger after you untie it. You cut that off and you make yourself a bend just like that. This is going to go under this plate. I'm going to need a screwdriver to get under there. But anyways, it's going to go under here just like that. And you're going to screw it down just like that, and then you can take a hammer and you're going to beat down the edges to make sure that this does not come up, and it's actually very, very sturdy. Make sure it's nice and flat so this flag sits nice and centered on your tip up. But I'm going to get this all mounted up and I'll show you all how it works, and we're pretty much done. So stay tuned, y'all. Alright guys, now that your glue is mostly set, you can take out your carriage bolt, but don't be too rough on your reel because it's if you leave it for your full set, but I didn't. It's in its set time, it's not in its full hardening time. So there's only a couple more things to do. One is you take your 1/4 inch drill bit and you if I can find it real quick, yep. You want to make a hole in your tip up. Now I usually come at around a 45. You want to come in like that because your line is going to come out here, and you don't want to come like this. You'd rather come out nice and smooth down and out. So what I do is just take mostly pretty much in the center, come at your angle, and you start your roll. And not drill through your table. Now just to make it smoother, I wiggle it. You just wiggle your drill bit around in there. Get yourself a nice angle. You also want to kind of cut down the edge coming out. And just round that out with the drill bit. So you get a hole just like that. And then for final touch-up, you can take yourself some sandpaper, some of that loose sandpaper, roll it up in a ball, and you can feed it through here, make sure this is nice and smooth and nothing will mess with your line. So anyways, once your stuff is set, you can take your carriage bolt, and once this is all mounted, like so, about 3/4 of an inch to an inch back is just kind of where I generally place it, so your reel isn't hanging off the back. It just kind of fits just nicely along with the whole tip up. take carriage bolt, you come through here, and you're mounting, you take one of your nuts, and you're going to want to screw it right on there. You want to cinch this one down very, very hard. You don't want this one to move at all anytime you're on the ice, unless you intend to bring tools with you, which I most certainly do not. So I just take a pair of pliers in the back of the carriage bolt, get yourself any wrench that works, and torque it down to literally where the square end of the carriage bolt squishes into the hole. So you're for sure that this will never move. And then, you're going to tweak this just a little bit. You want to eyeball this and make sure it's nice and flat and even so your reel will mount on there just right. You want to be careful with this. Make sure you have your hole for your handle sticking out. So I slide that on there. Be sure not to disturb it too much. Then you want to take your last nut and place it on there loosely. And there's two ways of doing this. One, you can glue this nut in place or use a lock nut. Or two, for tightening up purposes, when you hook your hook on, you just tighten the line right down, and then you can thumb tighten this, so then you'll have no release of tension. So then your line will, fall off and get all wound up in your other ones. But anyways, if yours is fully set, then you can start messing with your flag. You're going to want to cut this so you're for sure with line it'll still grab, but you want it pretty light, depending I guess what you're fishing for. But I set mine fairly light because I'm fishing trout here in Colorado. You're going to want this to have a nice bend to it and cut off whatever you think. You're going to have to do quite a bit of shaving, but you also want to save enough so you can make a loop, because then this will then mount on this carriage bolt and hide away just like that, like the other tip-ups I showed at the beginning of the video. So I actually need to let this dry a little more before I fully test this, but this is essentially what you're going to have. And I'll get back to y'all when this is fully dried, and we'll finish it all up. Alright you guys, I let this set for about another hour, and I took and trimmed this up. So now, this will be obviously the peak point of the flag, and then it stores with that little loop, just like that. And then once I put the thumbtack on, when I pull the line tight, instead of pulling back, the thumbtack will hold it against the flag. So that'll keep this all real nice and sturdy. Also, that is what the rubber bands for are used on the end. So, show you how this works. You want this to be super light right here, because obviously this is going to get much thicker with line on it. But anyways, so to simulate a fish biting, it's going to pull this and set it off. Just like that. It's obviously going to be a little stiffer, and you can change the stiffness, but you're also going to affect how high your flag goes up. You can make it stiffer by just bending it up, or lighter by bending it down. So you just set it the way you want it, and get fishing, y'all. We'll do some final touch-ups. I'll put the thumbtack in here for a handle, and spool it up, sand this out, get some paint on it, get our stickers on it, and then we will have another Wild Ridge Outdoors tip-up adventure this weekend. So hopefully we'll get a bunch of videos of some decent trout coming up. I've never fished this lake we're going to, but we're going to try it out, see how we do. Of course, we're bringing all our tip-ups along that are all homemade. So I hope you all enjoyed this part. I'm not going to upload this today. We're going to go out Saturday and put these on the ice, and hopefully get some on here. And then we'll probably get one or two tip-ups from the store, just to compare them, do a little comparison fish to fish, which one catches the most, even though a line is a line. I'm going to have the same line on both. But kind of a bragging rights type thing. I spent $2 each on these making them versus, a $14 Frab roll or something like that tip up. So we will see y'all. See you Saturday. Alright, Saturday morning. We're getting ready right now. It's about 4:30 in the morning. I'm going to get out, head up, pack up right now. Should have packed up last night, but we got home late. Didn't happen. So, gotta get up early now. Did get myself a new auger though. My last one was about on our last leg. Got our new homemade tip-ups on a line there with some store-bought ones, my older ones. And we're going to be using some power bait today because these trout are stocked. So they're more apt to bite on non-natural baits. And it seems as though Colorado Springs has literally not a single bait shop that is open in the morning. So that's where we're at. And also, if you didn't see back here, got a sneak peek at the next DIY. We ended up breaking a rod, actually a reel. My buddy fell in the hole and broke that one right there. So made a little homemade jaw jacker out of it. I'm not giving any spoilers, but I'll be showing you how to make a jaw jacker real soon, which for all you who aren't familiar, that are really good for trout. Tip-ups aren't the best, but I homemade them, so they're super, super light. But jaw jacker is the way to go, but nobody wants to spend $60 per, especially when you got 2 lines per person. So we're going to make them cheap. Hopefully they work out, and that'll be the next one coming up. Because it's expanding. Like your phone just... Okay, Samantha, don't walk that way.
Oh my god, you guys.
No, it's small.
Dale, yeah.
Well, Dale, yeah, son. Sit still. Come on. Stop it. Oh, Jesus. Dog, come on, man.
Caught on the home rig.
Ah, yes.
I got a pair of pliers.
Ah, yes. Got the fish.
What the fuck was that? I was like... Alright y'all, that's the end of our DIY video, and we'll put some fishing at the end to show that the tip-ups work. I was pretty happy with how they turned out. They set just light enough so they didn't affect how the trout bit them. I mean, we never, I won't say we never missed them. I think we missed 2 on the homemades, but we missed almost every one on the store-bought tip-ups because they did not set light enough. So they did exactly what I wanted to, and we did really well for fishing a lake that I've never fished before, especially without having a fish finder or a Vexilar. And all we did was search for 8 to 10 feet of water with a spool of line with a weight on it, and that's usually a pretty good sweet spot for early morning trout. They like to hit the incline and decline of a lake's edge. So we hit them pretty decently. Nothing huge, but we did put fish on the ice. So I was pretty happy with all that, and hope you all liked what you saw. Let me know what I could do differently and what I did that you liked. We'll try to do more of that. Let me know if you like the longer videos, because this is definitely our longest video. Let me know if you want to see all the whole process of how we do it, or if you just want us to get straight to the point of what it is and how it's made. Because we can speed it up, or we can slow it right down to make sure you guys don't waste any materials and all that kind of stuff with our future DIY videos. We want to make it so you guys enjoy it and make it the best quality possible. And I also apologize for some of those fishing videos. We had to record them on an iPhone, and you know, with cold hands you don't even think to turn it. So it's a little annoying, but bear with us. You know, we're new at this, and we can only get better. So help us out, comment, like, and subscribe, and also check out my friend, his name is Fishing Grubs on YouTube. He's an awesome ice fisherman and an awesome saltwater fisherman. He's just about at the 1,000 subscriber mark, which, if y'all haven't heard, YouTube's been kind of weird with the new monetization rules, to where you need to have 4,000 viewing hours or something like that per year and have at least 1,000 subscribers, which we're nowhere near that point, so I'm not even worried about it. But check this guy out, help him out. He's getting real close, and he makes awesome content. Check us out on Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram. Also check out our website. Everything will be in the description box below. Check it out. Click it all, y'all. I'm Ski, and we'll see you in the next one.